Joining us now here at CNN Centre is Badi Badiozamani. Now, he's an expert on Iran, a scholar and an author. He's written the book Iran and America, Rekindling a Lost Love. Thank you, sir, for joining us here at CNN.
Pleasure.
We did speak a little earlier,
Yes.
before we got word on protesters getting out on the streets. What's your reading now as we see what's happening?
Well, we are getting different reports. They are non-confirmed. The only thing that we recently received, and that was like a bombshell, so to speak, was from Press TV that announced that an explosion had happened in the Imam Khomeini mausoleum. That's his burial place, burial ground. And then 2 people were hurt. Then, of course, everybody was shocked, everybody was saddened, because that's a very respectable grounds, that's revered, that's a tomb of Imam Khomeini, the leader of the Islamic Republic. Now, the thing is, like anything else in life, there are several sides, if not at least 2 sides to each story. One side is what the government press says that, well, this happened. And of course, we haven't seen any pictures. You know, there is a total restriction on foreign reporters. Nobody has seen this. So the opposition says, what do we know? First of all, we expected such a thing to happen. And you say, what do you mean? Well, we expected that the regime was going to do something bad, and then blame it on the opposition so that it would get legitimacy to come down heavy, crush the opposition and say, well, I was right, because like you desecrated the tomb of the leader of the Islamic regime.
By saying that, clarify to us, please, as to who you think is behind these blasts.
Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. The point is, there are at least 2 sides, and we are trying to be fair and balanced. So we don't know. The government says so, yet we haven't seen any pictures. At least I haven't seen any pictures yet. For your viewers, I should say, I wish we had a map, yes. The place where people were supposed to gather was Enqilab Square, or Revolution Square, and then they were supposed to march westward towards Azadi, or Freedom, or Liberation Square. And this is totally far away from the mausoleum of Imam Khomeini, which happens to be in the southern part of Tehran, actually between Tehran and the religious city of Qom. Miles of distance.
And that is a critical point, but I do want to go back to what you were saying, because you're saying that there are 2 sides involved here, but the story that you were relaying to us implied, certainly to me, that you think the regime is behind these blasts.
I'm not saying what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. I'm giving you and your viewers 2 different sides. One side is the regime, and it's the only source that says that this has happened. And the other side is the people, or the opposition, or the freedom fighters, whatever you would like to call them, say that, and they had been saying this before. I had heard it yesterday, but there was no point in mentioning it, because nothing had happened. So we had heard it yesterday, the day before even, that something could have happened, something like this, and then the government would have blamed it on us.
We just want to bring up some file footage of the mausoleum, if we could. I'm getting word from the control room, we have it. Explain to us the significance of this mausoleum to the people of Iran, and why this is important that we're laboring this point particularly.
Yes, this used to be just a piece of land. And then once Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini passed away, he was buried here with the plan that they would build this mausoleum, or so-called shrine, over his tomb, so that his followers, that are, of course, to some extent millions, would have a place to go and not only visit his tomb, but also pray. You see, in Shiite Islam, and the majority of Iranians are Shiite, of the Shiite sect of Islam, they do have this tradition of building mausoleums for their sacred people, so to speak, yes. Saints, imams. Okay, different parts of Iran, you will see that.